Testing. 1, 2, 3. This is a public service announcement. I need your undivided attention, please. That's right, I'm speaking to you, my brother who thinks he's not my brother because historically our cultures never shared a bond, and to my sister who thinks she's not my sister because we get different results on Ancestry.com. I'm here to tell you that we are siblings through heaven. In other words, we've been related all along. Is this how you treat family? Like, it's enough to know things about me, but learning what I'm about you don't even bother. Like, you admit we had the same creator, but refuse to acknowledge that we have the same father. Mercy me, I can only imagine if we all imagined that when he imagined us, we were made in his image. He placed us here together for our unity, to bring praise to his existence. Instead, we let our politics and biases turn this perfect match into a scrimmage. We have work to undo. And no, that was not a slip of the tongue. We are like two separate shoelaces that refuse to embrace their predestined ties to one another. We are still undone. Pretend you're a rainbow, the meteorological phenomenon in which rays from the sun disperse through water droplets, resulting in a breathtaking, multi-hued spectrum unlike any other. Now picture the most beautiful thing about you being reduced to nothing but gray. See, this is what happens when you make it a point to not see color. Our different shades are so much more than skin deep. Acting like they don't exist takes away part of what makes us unique. If I'm a rainbow, my color's part of my identity. So if you don't see color when you look at me, then what do you see? We are permitted to be ourselves. In fact, we are empowered to. We are beautifully and wonderfully made, designed to be special from the moment God breathe life in the man, revealing what real power can do. How can you not stand out when you were made by a God that's outstanding? The things that set us apart are the sweetest things about us. During creation, it's like God was just passing out candy. Besides, what if you were given a flavor that I don't have but might need to become the best version of myself? Wouldn't that be when our unity really comes in handy? In those moments when our individual gifts filling each other's gaps, fulfilling God's agenda for our lives to intertwine the way he always planned it? So if he is flawless and you and I are both God-inspired, our differences are just part of his perfection, not blemishes we wish blended in after all. Since unity does not mean uniformity, there's really no gray filter required. Can you feel it now? This sense of clarity sinking in. And more answers lie with he who helps those who are sinking swim. The one who walked on water as if preserving a fresh pair of Timbs. The light of the world that's literally incapable of ever being dimmed. Let's get right to it. Jesus is justice. In fact, he originated. Isaiah 1:17, learn to do good, seek justice, correct oppression. Therefore, the fact that you can't separate justice from the gospel cannot be deliberated. Luke 11:42. But woe to you Pharisees, for you tithe fine things but neglect justice and the love of God. Loosely translated, justice has to be done just right. One cannot embody justice with a cold heart, because then it's just ice. So then how long will modern day Pharisees continue to give the appearance of justice just to appear just? Handing out slaps on the wrist of justified killers while the families of the victims return their ashes to the dust. We wonder why there's so much restlessness within our nation. Based on the last 400 years, maybe we just need a little R&R. You know, racial reconciliation. In the Bible, we see Jesus always took action against injustice. Perhaps that's where we first learned the evil prevails when good men do nothing. Sometimes talking things out can seem pointless. Then again, every good plan of action begins with a discussion. No matter the initial conversation, the example of Christ is clear. Someone has to do something. Our country pats itself on the back for the fact that it supplied urban communities with basketball courts on each corner. But what if every little Michael out there doesn't want to be Jordan? What if the little Dexter, one day having his own lab, was more important? But he forces a hoop dream since he was conditioned coming from the hood. That's the only way to be financially supported. We can't ignore this. Your origin is not my origin, but it's irrelevant. We can't all relate. Leviticus 19:33, when a foreigner resides among you in your land, do not mistreat them. Do I believe this even now? Absolutely. Yes, sir. And that's spelled S-A-H. So when I say yes, sir, I'm spelling out for you to yes. Stop Asian hate. But this will never change. not until we get to the heart of the problem. So then how do we make change? We have to realize that the heart is the problem. Denial is a parasite that causes true progress to shrivel and wilt. So we must proclaim it is undeniable that racial justice is simply justice, and that justice is the foundation upon which the gospel is built. Wait, something's happening. Lord, I believe I'm getting through. I'm delivering your message, and I think they're beginning to see it's pointless living in division when our diversity was the entire point of being multiplied by you. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Let's give being undivided our attention, please.